Secondly, apart from diffusion of innovation, we will be discussing about this technology acceptance model, which is a very important theory in the field of new media. Okay, this is technology acceptance model, and you see that whenever a theory is being studied and numerous passage and elements are come out on the basis of which we usually apply the theory on any kind of practice to create a judgment, to evaluate any result systematically. So, in fact, the theory is also drawn, any theory is drawn with this very theory. We get to see there is a systematic evaluation of certain facts and some methods which will help us to draw a theory. And this theory is further being evaluated in related fields, and then we will draw few more facets, few more tenets, few more elements, and we can make it much more unified and broader even. So you also see there are theory is not simply end in itself. So there are numerous other facets used to develop in a theory over the years. Okay, so like that way, when you talk about this STEM theory, the technology acceptance model, this is called model, but this is a theory basically. It's a model. We can also interpret it as a model. There is a difference between theory and model, and that you come to know perhaps. So, but in terms of model, the way we look into uh, some of the very basic elements, we can also look into some of the very basic elements that defines this technology acceptance model. But this very framework can fit into the acceptance of technology, be it any technology, mobile phone technology, internet, AI technology. You can talk about digital marketing, you can talk about social media tools. So while adopting and accepting any technology, you can apply this particular theory. Suppose you can also study the adoption of AI in higher education. So if you are studying this very you see topic, you say theme, if you are working on this very theme, adoption of AI in higher education, then you will be using this particular theory, how acceptance of AI is made as per some of the elements, or you say antecedent, that this theory has identified. So this theory has identified some of the antecedent which we will be discussing, and you see that to understand that antecedent, you need to elaborate a case. So you can have different cases, maybe a case related to adoption of mobile phone by different demographic groups. So on the basis of the features of different demographic group, we can usually understand their users habit, right? And that's what we have got in diffusion of innovation. So when we study technology acceptance model, it is always going with, it will always go with diffusion of innovation. So we cannot simply uh, uh, study only the technology acceptance model without having a clear understanding of diffusion of innovation. And hence, I thought of starting with diffusion of innovation. Then we will move to technology acceptance model. And after we discuss a bit about technology acceptance model, as I have already told you, that technology, any theory is not restricted and limited to certain time. So there is also an advanced version of this theory of technology acceptance model, that is known as a unified theory of acceptance of technology and uses of technology. That is actually the advanced version of technology acceptance model. So that unified UTAUT, that is the advanced version, that is given by an Indian Venkatesh. But we see the technology acceptance model is given by Fred D. Davis. So there are certain names that we need to remember in terms of understanding the theory also, and their motive, the kind of studies that they have carried out, based on which they have drawn some inferences. Okay, so we see that first, all of you know about this diffusion of innovation, right? We will start with this. innovation and it will relate to it with them. Okay, how it is relate to them. So one is Bradley Davis is the one. In some literature, you'll get to find the origin of CAN model, technology acceptance model, is in 1985, and in certain literature, you will find this is the year 1986. Okay? And then about diffusion of innovation, what we actually find is that first about the what do you know about diffusion of innovation, character of this innovation, right? So we basically study with the character of the innovation, right? Character or characteristics of the innovation, which is the very important element of diffusion of innovation. Then what we actually do, the characteristics of those who adopt an innovation, right? This is basically characteristics of those who adopt the innovation. And in very third phase, we actually try to find out the kind of decision which is made regarding the innovation. Decision which is being made regarding the innovation. Hmm. Then what we actually see is that communication channel or role of it in diffusing the innovation. Innovation. And also there is one thing, and that is the location, place, and also the system where and also diffusion is made. Right? Then in relation to diffusion of innovation, we have certain stages, right? We have certain stages. Like we have the knowledge stage, right? So at the very stages of diffusion, we have that knowledge. This is called the knowledge stage of diffusion. Then we have okay. So regarding these innovations, we'll take a snapshot of it later. Also, you can do it. You will be given study materials later. Okay. So regarding the innovation, this is basically first is the characteristics of innovation. Characteristics of innovation, you see if it is a mobile phone, you will actually find it how this mobile phone is different from a radio, other means of communication, television, or even you see this earlier the voice phone. If you talk about the feature phone, so any diffusion of innovation, mobile phone is an innovation. So information about mobile phone is being diffused, and that's how you actually see information about bandwidth, information about network, information about advanced version of the phone, information about advanced version of the technology, information about AI. If you see information about um, new AI tool, now you see that iThor, AI Thor, there is a tool which is available which can be used by everyone for writing purpose, for even research writing, and it also claims that it doesn't even show the plagiarism and all. I really don't know whether it is true or not and how far it is true because I haven't installed it yet. But I try it. Okay, I'm trying it. No, so I'm also at one phase of diffusion of innovation because I'm trying it to find out whether these features are reliable or not. Okay, so when you talk about the characteristics of innovations, you first actually know because information about any innovation, maybe innovation about new features, additional features in a microwave or any technology is being diffused. Okay, about network is being diffused, bandwidth is being diffused, about additional features are being diffused. So there is a channel by which the information regarding the innovation is being diffused. And there is also system and location and the place over which this diffusion of innovation is being made. So whether diffusion of innovation is like there in a limited zone, that means any kind of innovation which is diffused, and perhaps for one particular group of people, that too within that geographical precinct. Okay, so they know about innovation, but beyond that geographical presence, people do not know. Okay, so there is a lack of awareness, lack of knowledge about the innovation which is being diffused beyond that geographical presence or beyond that particular group. So that system is very important where that diffusion is being made. Perhaps system will come just after the innovation, after the characteristics of information innovation. We will actually try to find out system, location, and the place where innovation is being diffused, innovation is being made. Innovation is being made, but when it is diffused, diffused means it is being spread it out. It could be diffused by opinion leaders. It could be diffused through interpersonal communication, through even face-to-face communication. It could be diffused through communication medium, right? Radio, televisions, with the help of which we can actually seek for diffusion of any kind of innovation, with the help of newspaper, with the help of even internet, information about any additional innovation, any additional newness to already existing technology can be diffused. Okay, so and that diffusion, where it is being diffused, it is diffused across the world, across the region, across the nations, across one particular organization. Okay, among the group of people is important, and that decides and designs the location. Okay, location of innovation. So characteristics is important, location is important. Then characteristics of, okay, then communication channel is important. Okay, so there is a mismatch of order. First, second part. So you can actually see the communication channel through which diffusion is made. So it can be diffused through interpersonal communication, mass communication, radio, television. So there are different means of communication through which newness, any kind of new information could be diffused related to any innovation. That innovation may be technological innovation or innovation related to any policy related innovation. Newness in the policy have been brought. Some social reform measures have been taken. That is also innovation. So when you talk about the innovation, it is not restricted to one technology. But here in the field of new media, we are basically focusing on the technology itself. Any kind of diffusion of information on newness related to technology, additional features of this technology. But you see that innovation can be related to any policy, any new schemes. People are not aware about any new schemes of even Jan Dhan Suraksha, so whatever. So any developmental schemes about you see the provisions which is aligned to sustainable development goal. So we need to spread the innovation. So characteristics of innovation is important. So then we talk about the location and place of innovation, communication channel, which is important, decision which is being made by the characteristics of those who adopt the innovation. These are also aligned concepts. Then characteristics of those who adopt the innovation is important. Hmm. So when there is a diffusion in any location, in any system, there will be certain number of people who will adopt that innovation. So their characteristics will be very important. Characteristics means their income level, their ascriptive features, the ascriptive features in terms of their ethnicity, even their religions. These are also very important. Their education, whether they are from urban background, rural background. So that characteristics of those who will be adopting the innovations, adopting any policy, adopting any schemes, or maybe beneficiary of that scheme. Characteristics of the population who will be the beneficiary of the scheme will be very, very important. Okay. So this is basically the characteristics of those population who will be the beneficiary of the scheme or beneficiary of the diffusion of innovation, who will be adopting the innovation. I may adopt the policy, I may be the beneficiary of that particular policy. I may adopt the technology and become the beneficiary of that technology. Right? So, my characteristics, my income level, I belong to which group, huh, I belong to which educational strata. So, you can have different demographic features which will define the characteristics of the uh, uh, group which will be adopting the innovation. Then we have certain stages across which you see the diffusion is being innovated, and then adoption decisions are being taken. So very first stage is knowledge stage. So in the very first stage we have that knowledge of that innovation, you know. Knowledge, decision, and four things you have implementation, knowledge, confirmation. Okay. So these are the very stages through which diffusions are being spreaded. So in the very first stage, these are the stages through which diffusion is being made. Okay, and how it influences diffusion will influence the adopter. So in the very first stage, you have to really see it is looking into some of the information related to that technology. They will try to get some new information about that particular technology. That actually is like the knowledge stage. Knowledge stage, people will be uh, informed about that new features or additional features of that particular technology. And in the second very stage, they will be persuading themselves. After they are being informed, so they will be persuading, and that very phase they will be convinced upon that okay, they should adopt an innovation, they should adopt a policy, they should adopt a machine, they should adopt a technology, adopt any system, any new system, perhaps adopt any new job. Okay, so in the second very stage, they will be taking the decision after they are being aware. So, in the very first stage is related to information, second stage is related to uh, convince, convincing. Yes, and third stage is related to taking decision. After they get persuaded, they will take the decision of buying and uh, adopting that innovation. Then they will implement it. In the last stage, new information will be again continued. Spreading of new information will be continued. What you see in this very stages, in the first very stage, it is all about circulation of information about any new technology, any new circulation of information through different communication, through radios, television, in order to inform student, in order to inform the innovator. So this is all about circulation of information. Persuasion is related to an informed decision, means they are convinced by this information, and now they are going to form a decision, and that decision may be, you see, the related to adoption, or that decision may not be related to adoption. But you see that in persuasion state we always talk about the positive decision, okay, affirmative decision. In the decision field they will actually adopt that innovation. Hmm? And then they will implement it, they will use it. Adopting will not lead to use. So we also talk about the excess. Excess is not lead to use. So in implementation, we actually talk about the meaningful use. So meaningful use may not be related to accessing one technology or buying one technology or adopting an innovation. And then in the fifth stage, they will be using and they will also spread information about their adoption behavior, their adoption experience, about the disposition that you have after adopting a new technology. They will spread information about newness of that technology. So they will also spread additional information about that particular technology. So they will confirm the diffusion of innovation. Like that way you can, or the information will be circulated again and again to reach to another system, to reach to another strata, reach to another group. Okay, like that way you actually see that diffusion has been innovated. Then after it, we also have certain other parameters. Like you talk about the relative advantage. You know about relative advantage, which is very important. Parameters of diffusion of innovation. Relative advantage is about having access to one technology and not having access to one technology. Okay, you having access to mobile phone, you having access to AI tool, and not having access to AI tool. Okay, so you can actually judge the relative advantage of having access to AI tool and not having access to AI tool. So at one point of time, you could actually judge and take a decision of having access to AI tool. So relative advantage is having access to technology and the output that you get after not access to technology and after accessing to a technology in related to any mobile phone, social media, tool, technology platform or any innovation. Okay, and then secondly, another feature of relative advantage is that after you decide and compare between having access and not access, you will also have a comparison with different types of communication technologies. Suppose getting information from mobile phone, getting information from television, the types of kinds of information that you have got, and then you take a sound decision which technology will be beneficial for you at one particular point of time. Related to it, if you talk about another innovation, take a scheme or a policy, so you will have a comparative evaluation of different schemes. Then you will rank one particular schemes or two schemes like that way which you will be adopting based on the relative advantages of those very schemes. So you compare the number of schemes and the benefit, and then you compare having getting benefit from the getting you getting benefited from the scheme and you not getting benefited from the scheme. Okay, so like that way you could actually judge the relative advantage of having a technology or not having a technology. Then what you have is the compatibility. Compatibility is very important features. When you talk about compatibility, it is related to the social norms, social influence, government policy, and also the organizational behavior. Here we talk about the family atmosphere. We talk about the organizational atmosphere, which will be influencing you to take any decision related to innovation. So, in compatibility factor, we get to find the facilitating condition. Whether you see that organizational behavior is compatible, which will help you, motivate you to adopt any innovation or not. Suppose government has a negative attitude towards AI, but still you see that AI tools have been circulated. I'm telling you, suppose. Okay, I'm telling you, suppose that government hasn't come out with any kind of policy related to AI, but they usually talk about AI in a very negative tone. Okay, now you see that information related to AI, various applications have been already been circulated. Now you see that facilitating condition is not there. So definitely you will think twice or thrice before adopting a technology, adopting an innovation, or using a tool. Okay, so suppose in that environment, in an organization, in a university, even in a media organization, that organization is not friendly using AI. They have a policy. They said that employee employees cannot use AI because they believe authenticity of content. Okay, according to them, AI cannot give authenticity of content and cannot give originality of content. And hence, an organization has decided that employee cannot use the AI tool. So you get to see that facilitating condition is negative actually. It will not motivate the employees to use that innovation. So compatibility is the facilitating condition and social influence. So if we talk about the social influence, the information about innovation among the peers and their attitude towards the information will always motivate you, will always influence you to adopt that innovation. Okay, so compatibility is about the social influence, about social norms, about facilitating condition which will motivate you to adopt an innovation. Okay, and then we have triability. Triability, as you see, that with any technology, you have that uh, aspect always in mind when you buy something. If I could try it, when you buy a piece of clothes, you want to try whether it will fit on you or not. So this is basically the triability. So if there is a triability which was available or triability options available, so definitely we will go and adopt that innovations because on the basis of our information, our present information, we will take the decision, not on the basis of the reviews what others have made. So when you talk about the reviews are related to compatibility. But you see, it is about your triability. Triability and compatibility can be contradictory. So you can try out, you can have a very positive review. But you say compatibility factor might say, the policy might say negative. Or two, three users, previous users might say that, okay, you cannot try it out. So gave a very negative feedback. So at times there will be contradiction whether you will take the decision based on your triability and observability of the result, or you will be taking the decision based on the social influence compatibility factor. Okay, so here you see that there are some contradictory elements which will come in taking the decisions, which will also help you or hinder you, obstruct you in taking the decision. So here you see that compatibility is related to social influence. Triability is about your own experience to any technology, own experience related to any technology. Then you have the observability. Observability is also important. Observability is basically uh, the matching of the goal with the which the technology is designed, the innovation, excuse me, innovation is being made, and the result that it has derived. Okay, so in observability, what we have actually found is that the matching of the goal and the result is the observability. So you have observed that you have adopted that innovation and got the result which is positive will also influence you to adopt that innovation. Okay, not on the basis of their result but on the basis of your observation. Hmm. Not on the basis of their not result, their reviews. Reviews are related to compatibility. But on the basis of what changes they have accommodated in them, what changes they have embraced in them is important for you also, which will motivate you to adopt it innovation. So observability is the goal of any innovation, any newness which is being created to technology, and the resultant is the outcome, whether outcome is in line to the goal or not. Okay, so these are other various stages of innovation, how innovation is being diffused. Apart from the innovators, so we talk about the innovators, like we have We talk about those categories of innovators. Huh? We have early adopters, late adopters. Then we also, huh? Early majority, late majority. So those are important, but those I'm not going to discuss about those, as you know, and everybody discuss about those very. Okay. Okay. So you have understood about diffusion of innovation, right? So now I'll be relating it to technology acceptance model. So regarding the characteristics of innovators, so we have that early majority, late majority, then we have laggard. These are the categories of the people. Basis on the basis of their, you see, their income level, on the basis of their demographic features, they usually adopted innovations. That we can discuss later, or we can skip it for a time being. But these are the features which I have discussed already are related to TAM model, the technology acceptance model. So when an innovation is being diffused in the society, and that too through a channel, and different stages of innovation, how that innovation is ultimately taken, and it will also influence 10 others to accept a technology, adopt a technology, is associated with the TAM model. TAM is basically technology acceptance model. Okay. And in technology acceptance model, we do have some anchor features and some adjustment features. Okay, anchors are those which are based on the review of others that will fall into the compatibility features of the diffusion of innovation. So in diffusion of innovation also we get to see there is some aspect, okay, based on which we could usually find how innovation is being adopted. So these four aspects will definitely influence the innovation, adoption of innovation. One is relative advantage, okay, of any technology. Then we have compatibility, triability, and observability. So there is also one more features people say result demonstrability. So result demonstrability is also one features. Many a time we try to find diffusion of any technology which is on the basis of the result that it has given, which is being demonstrated by one particular technology after it is being used. Okay. Then you see in technology acceptance model, we have some anchor point and we have adjustment point. But prior to this anchor and adjustment point, are very important features that the technology acceptance model will provide are, you see, perceived ease of use. That is a perceived ease of use. Ease of use is one very important feature, and second feature is usefulness, perceived usefulness. So when you talk about the perceived usefulness, you will definitely look into a technology while adopting on innovation, whether the technology will be useful or not, whether the innovation will be useful for you or not. So extent of usefulness will help you to adopt any technology except a technology. So usefulness is very important features of TEM model, technology acceptance model. And the second feature is the perceived ease of use. Okay, ease of use, whether the technology is user friendly or not. It is going or it is aligned with the skill set that you have or not. Okay, so these are the two important features of technology acceptance model. But apart from that, we have some anchor point. Anchor point are based on use social factor, cultural factor, political factor, which will influence uh, the adoption decision of the technology or acceptance of a technology. So when we talk about the social factor is basically the language, various related to language. You talk about the skill set, your cognitive skills, your also affective skill set, and your literacy, level of literacy. Okay, will come under the social factor and also social influence.
The cycle by which you will be influencing, with which you mingle, will form social factor. When we talk about the cultural factor is basically the norms, manners, behavior, lifestyles, which will design the cultural factors of the acceptance of technology. So, social norms, when you talk about the social norms, is very, very important, which will have the motivation outcome. So, when we talk about certain kind of belief system, we actually see this kind of belief system will always help us to accept a technology or adopt a technology. And this belief system may be on the basis of outcome evaluation, and that is the attitude and the belief which will also influence our behavior or behavioral decision to accept a technology. Then you also have a normative belief. One is behavioral belief, one is normative belief. Normative belief will stem from the cultural factor, the very culture, norms of the society, okay, principles of the society, and also you see some gender role descriptions, some of the policies, some of the laws, which will help you to frame the cultural factors as well as create normative belief in us, which will motivate us. Okay, and third one is, you see, that is a control belief. Control belief and control effort, you also see. So, which will help us to even take a right decision at time. That is a control effect on the belief, and that will help to decide us, that will influence our behavior to accept a technology or adopt a technology. That will be a part of, you see, political factor and part of cultural factor at the same time, and that is the facilitating condition. So here there are slight differences in the diffusion of innovation while we discussed about those very aspect which will help to take the adoption decision, right? Relative advantage, compatibility, we talk about triability, observability. Here we actually talk about those very similar factors, but these are grouped in different way in different categories. So here they are grouped in, you see the social belief, this is called normative factors, or you see norms which will help us or motivate us to adopt. And we talk about the behavioral factors on the basis of this outcome. So we will be disposed of to take a decision, or our behavior will be safe to take a decision. And on the basis of facilitating condition, which will be controlling our behavior towards adopting a decision or towards accepting a technology. So there are slight differences in these two very models if you get to see. And then there are some anchor point and, you see, adjustment points which will help you to understand the TAM model. So when we talk about this anchor point are based on someone else's review about one particular technology, which will have an effect and influence the way you adopt one technology. So when you talk about this anchor point related to, you see, um, uh, anxiety towards one particular technology. This anxiety is not your own. Anxiety is there because you have seen others using that technology. You see, you have seen others' prestations. You have seen others' review, and that's what made you feel anxious about. Okay, but when you have no skill set, that will also create an anxiety, but that could be adjusted later on. So here you see anchor point are there. Anchor point are related to self-efficacy, your capacity, your capability towards using the technology, your anxiety towards any kind of innovations. Okay, anxiety may be a negative or maybe a positive kind of anxiety which will make you very excited about a technology. Okay, and negative kind of anxiety which will also let you not to use the technology for good, right? So you're so very anxious that you cannot make use of that technology positively for your benefit, for your good, right? Yeah. So you actually see that these are the very important features of TAM, the same time. So we have that two very important features. One is perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use. Apart from that, what is important for them is that uh, there is image factor, which is important. The job relevant factor, which is important. Voluntariness, which are also important. Okay. Then self-efficacy, it is important. Result demonstrability is important. Okay. Outcome, which are important. These are all adjustment factor. Adjustment, you voluntarily submit yourself to accept a technology. So this is related to accepting a technology. Voluntarily, you have submitted yourself to accept a technology. So you take that decision voluntarily uh, without having been influenced by anyone. So this is a voluntary decision. So the voluntary decision to adopt a technology is adjustment of TEM model. I'll be discussing again. I'll be writing down, perhaps not in this very class, in the later class. It will be helpful for you. And on that basis of you see anchor point and adjustment point, what we can have is that we can actually go through a psychometric scheme. There is a psychometric scheme which is being designed by Fishbane and Azain. Fishbane and Azain are also two contributory proponents to TEM model. So we do have a proponent, that is Fred D. Davis, who actually co-founded that TEM model. And there are additional features which are being incorporated by Venkatesh and make it a very unified theory of acceptance and use of technology. The TEM model has been revised to UTAUT, TAM from UTAUT. And then we could also see there are many more contributors to this theory. They worked on other different facets, other different you see aspects of a technology. Okay, so here we also see those psychometric factor will actually help you to adopt a decision whether adopting AI will be cost effective, whether adopting AI technology. In terms of AI, if I discuss, adopting AI will help you to reduce time, save time. While working, adopting AI technology will effectively uh, produce any material, so it will be very productive. Adopting an AI will be very productive, and adopting an AI will also help you to enhance your network, or adopting an AI help you to do the job more quickly. So like that way you can have some psychometric features which is helpful to take some adoption decision which is based on perceived usefulness of that technology. So here in these very scales you get to see all many features related to usefulness, perceived usefulness of one particular technology. Adopting a technology will make you finish the task very quickly. Adopting a technology will also help you to take a job, or adopting a technology will bring in some innovation to the job. Adopting a technology will help to reduce time. Adopting a technology will help you to bring many more productive output. Adopting a technology will help you to you see uh, give some quality output in terms of writing or in terms of any work, or adopting an technology will also help you in multitasking. So you actually see number of utility features which are already drawn, which you need to simply pick whether it is true or false, and how far you think that these very features are aligned to your user's habit, okay, of one particular technology, or your behavioral disposition of one particular technology. And then you have also another skill set which are uh, being drawn from ease of use factor, ease of use, okay, ease of use of that technology. Whether adopting the technology will not make you feel anxious. Adopting the technology is quite helpful interacting with another technology, or even having the uh, you see this learning the features, new features of that technology is also quite helpful, so are related to ease of use.
So there are some psychometric skills which are related to ease of use, and there are some psychometric skills which are related to usefulness of that particular technology, which will help you to understand the TAM model. And these very features are not drawn by you. These very features are already drawn, so you simply can have a rank on the basis of your uses of a technology, on the basis of your evaluation of that technology. Okay, so you need to remember those very psychometric scale in terms of explaining that theory, technology acceptance model. Okay, so I'm just finishing up now. So we'll be discussing more about those two theories later on.